We were just getting used to 32 teams. Now it's 48. And before that, it was 24. And before that, it was 16. So, what exactly is FIFA doing? And why can't they just pick a number and stick with it? Because here's the thing, every time FIFA announces a change to the World Cup, half the world celebrates and the other half loses their mind. And both sides have a point. So, today we're going to figure out what's actually these changes. Start at the beginning. The first World Cup was in 1930. 13 teams. Uruguay hosted it. Uruguay won it. Very convenient. There was no qualification process, no bracket drama, no group stages. Just a handful of countries who showed up and played football. It was basically a really competitive, friendly tournament that somehow became the biggest sporting event on Earth. Over the next few decades, the format slowly expanded. 16 teams, then 24, then in 1998, 32. And for a long time, 32 felt right. Clean. Balanced. 4 groups of 8, knockout rounds, a proper tournament. Most people were happy with it. Then FIFA got ambitious. Here's where it gets interesting. In 2016, FIFA voted to expand the World Cup to 48 teams starting from 2026. Because this isn't really about football, it's about money and politics. The money side first. More teams means more matches. More matches means more broadcast slots. More broadcast slots means more TV deals. More TV deals means billions, with a B, in revenue. The 2026 World Cup is projected to generate around $11 billion. That's almost double what Qatar made in 2022. But here's the counter-argument that FIFA loves to make. More money coming in means more money going out. To development programs, smaller federations, youth football. In practice, FIFA's financial history is, let's call it, complicated. FIFA has 211 member associations, more than the United Nations. Every single one of them has a vote, and every single one of them wants a piece of the World Cup. So when FIFA expands from 32 to 48 teams, they're not just adding matches, they're adding hope for dozens of countries that have never qualified before. Think about it this way. With 48 spots, Africa goes from 5 guaranteed places to 9. Asia goes from 4.5 to 8. CONCACAF, North and Central America, jumps from 3.5 to 6. That's a massive shift. Suddenly, countries that never dreamed of qualifying now have a realistic shot. That's genuinely exciting. You can't dismiss that. But the critics ask a fair question. Does giving more teams a spot make the tournament better, or just longer? Quality versus quantity. This is the argument that football purists have been having since the expansion was announced, and honestly, they raise real points. In a 32-team World Cup, nearly every group stage game matters. The margins are tight. One loss can end your tournament. The pressure is electric. With 48 teams divided into 16 groups of 3, the original plan, you'd potentially have 2 teams mathematically advancing before the final group game even kicks off. Dead rubber matches. Zero stakes. Nobody wants that. FIFA actually acknowledged this problem, which is rare for FIFA. So they adjusted the format. Instead of 16 groups of 3, they moved to 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 plus 8 best third-place teams advancing. Does that solve the problem? Kind of, sort of. Maybe. Ask me again after 2026. Then there's the host question. You can't talk about format changes without talking about where the tournament is held, because the two things are directly connected. A bigger tournament needs more stadiums, more infrastructure, more hotel rooms, more everything. That's why 2026 is a 3-country co-host. The United States, Canada, and Mexico sharing the load across 16 cities. That's never happened at this scale before. And it only became possible because FIFA needed somewhere big enough to handle 104 matches instead of 64. For context, the entire 2022 World Cup in Qatar was played in a country the size of Connecticut. With 48 teams, that's simply not possible anymore. So the format change doesn't just affect the football, it changes who can even host the tournament. There are already conversations about what comes next. A biennial World Cup, held every 2 years instead of 4, has been proposed, debated, and partially shelved. But it hasn't gone away. UEFA and CONMEBOL rejected it hard. players' unions pushed back on player welfare grounds. But FIFA keeps bringing it up, like that friend who suggests karaoke every single time, no matter how many times everyone says no. The reason is simple. If a 48-team World Cup doubles revenue, a biennial World Cup potentially doubles it again. And for an organization that runs on TV deals and sponsorship money, that math is very hard to ignore. So why does FIFA keep changing the World Cup? Because the World Cup isn't just a football tournament anymore, it's a geopolitical event, a financial instrument, and a soft power tool all wrapped in one. Every format change is FIFA responding to some combination of money pressure, political pressure, and the genuine desire to grow the game globally. It could have 200 teams playing on the moon and people would still tune in. And FIFA knows that, which is probably why they keep pushing. The World Cup keeps changing because FIFA is an organization that always has three different agendas running at once. And the format is just the result of whichever agenda wins that particular vote. So here's the question worth sitting with. In 2026, when a country qualifies for their very first World Cup and their fans are crying in the stands, will you care that the tournament has too many teams? Or will that moment make it all worth it? Maybe the format doesn't matter as much as we think. Or maybe it matters more than we admit. If you want more videos that actually explain the business and politics behind sport, not just the score, subscribe. We do this every week and it's worth your time.